Welcome to the event. We're really happy that you're here. We're about to go live in just a few moments, but before we lift off, there's a few important things we want to make sure that you're aware of so you get the best possible experience out of this. First of all, the sound current is supremely important to us, the musical experience. So if possible, we really encourage you to use good speakers or headphones to experience the class with. Second, if you have any pre-existing injuries, please take care of yourself, modify as you need to. Don't risk exacerbating an injury because of a yoga exercise. If you have any pre-existing medical conditions and you're not quite sure if this would be good for you, please consult with your primary healthcare practitioner and make sure it's the right thing for you. Also, make yourself relatively comfortable. You can use a cushion, and in fact, we encourage you in our seated positions, meditation practices, to use a cushion. It helps lift the heart up, keep the spine straight, and it's more ideal for the flow of energy in the body and for the meditation experience. You can even be sitting in a chair with feet flat on the floor for those of you that are unable to sit in a meditative sitting posture on the floor. Just use a chair, and for many of the exercises, that will work perfectly fine. And then lastly, if you're having any problems with the video streaming, try refreshing the page, or if you see a gear icon on the video, adjust your resolution. If you're new to this type of thing, just take care of yourself. If there's something that you don't quite understand, I wouldn't worry about it too much. Everything that needs to click will click after a few times of trying it out. Enjoy the experience. We're about to get started in just a moment.
Hey everybody. Okay, welcome. It's always good to be with you. I always start by saying that because it always does feel that way to me. I'm always excited to do these. Today I even got here early. We cleaned the space, we were excited. You always feel like when, some moments and days just feel like they have a little more gravitas. And that's good because that gives us something to work with. And it's not like any day is more important than any other day, ultimately. But there are waves of energy that we can work with. And that's partly, I think, what an eclipse affords us. They're not, on the one hand, they're kind of exciting. On the other hand, they're kind of like, well, I'm glad this thing's finally here, and let's get on the other side of it type of a thing. It's kind of both of that, for me at least, because both of those. Because it never fails to surprise me how much life can just sneak up into your blind spots and work on you. You know what I mean? Sometimes you can even feel like you got it all together, and then life will create the circumstances and the experiences for us to experience our karmas, our life growing lessons, and there's nothing we can do about it, period. Now, once it comes, we have the choice to try to avoid, or we have the choice to try to embrace, or we have the choice to do however we're going to respond to our life circumstances. But every 2.5 years, Saturn changes its sign. And eventually, Saturn's going to get to some focal point of our life that will then, and this is just one context, there's so many contexts that can happen, but we'll be slowed down enough. That's Saturn's name in Sanskrit, Shani, slow moving. We'll be slowed. He moves slow. It takes him 2.5 years to get through a sign. So approximately, that's why. Well, what he went into sidereal Capricorn in early, what year? 2020. And he's been hanging out there ever since. And right now he's right in the center of it in Shravana Nakshatra. So it's not all bad things, of course, but it can be tough, but also deeply spiritual. Deeply spiritual. And Shravana is all about listening. Shravana, the phrase Nanak uses, sunya, deeply listening. And there's so many facets to that. It's deeply listening as we're going through our sufferings and going through our karmas and going through our lives to the lessons that we're being taught through life. You can't just listen to the chitter-chatter of our mind in order to catch those things. We have to listen more deeply. We have to get the mind to relax enough so that we can hear the true voice of our heart. And when we can hear the true voice of our heart, that's a very just genuine, visceral experience. It's not philosophy. Philosophy may give us a clue to do it, to endeavor to experience it, but the experience is not philosophy. It's experience. It's you don't have to verify it with a philosophical idea. It's a feeling. And so anyhow, a lot of us people with strong Virgo energy, though, will verify it anyways, philosophically. You know what I mean? That's how certain parts of our psyches work. Because then at some point it's just a joy. It's a joy to talk about it. It's a joy to investigate it, and we learn that way. So anyhow, Saturn, though, will be moving into Aquarius in the springtime of 2022. So that's why I feel like this eclipse cycle here, because all of these waves are dynamic energies. An eclipse access in Scorpio, Taurus for a good year and a half, this is the final part of that. And the big chunk of that, you have this big Saturn energy in Capricorn causing the fabric of the structure of our society to be challenged because it needs to be rebuilt, needs an upgrade. That's what Saturn does. So people don't like Saturn, unfortunately, because to break down old systems so that new ones can be built is usually takes a great deal of suffering for it to happen, because we're creatures of habit and emotional habit. But all of this is helping to lift up and raise our consciousness, both individually and collectively. So if we're not tuning into some party or some ideology, but instead we're tuning into Mother Nature herself, she'll never let you down. She'll make you pay attention. She will humble you. That's what Mother Nature does. She humbles us. You can't stop a hurricane from coming. Hurricane's going to come. You can try to go out of its orb, but that hurricane is coming. So these are moments that teach us to live in a way that makes room for tragedy in our life, because we all will experience tragedy in our life. That's what human life is partly about. We come and we go. When we go, it's tragedy. It's tragedy to who? The ones who are still here and love us. But also it's glorious. Because when we're in these bodies, our perspective gets limited, and we get hypnotized to think that our experience in the body is the supreme experience. We like it, We're comfortable in our bodies. Hopefully, sometimes we're not, but you know what I mean. This is what we're familiar with. This is what we know, and to shed it and to experience something else, that's trepidation. That's big, and yet it's totally natural. Just like a baby being born, you have a baby born in your family. That's big, but it's also just totally natural. And anyone who's been around a baby being born can tell you, it's just Mother Nature doing her work. And so, why not tune into her voice and even kind of casually following astrological transits is just one way of helping tune into the cycles of Mother Nature and her voice. It's fun, and it's enjoyable study and art because it's a language of mythology and storytelling, which makes it really rich. It has such a rich culture underneath it. So anyhow, I just think we're at an important moment here because, of course, Aquarius, which Jupiter in the last last few weeks has just moved into Aquarius, and that means he's left his planet of debilitation for 12 years. So that's nice. That's a nice thing. We like that. But really, we like it because it makes our lives, easier, but it also brings wisdom to life because Jupiter is the energy of wisdom. So when Jupiter is weak, then wisdom can go low on the societal level. So that's what's also been going on the last couple of years is Jupiter in its place of debilitation, while Saturn it's in its place of tremendous strength. That's why on December 21st of last year, all in the news, there was a great conjunction that happened. And then you look up in the sky, and they look like one big star. And they've been hanging out in our horizon all year long, and it's been really beautiful just to watch them all year. Jupiter nice and bright, and then Saturn cool and cold, a little bit dim. Both the right energy, Shani and Guru. So that point in that conjunction, Saturn totally dominated because it's extremely strong in Capricorn, and Jupiter is extremely weak in Capricorn, relatively speaking. We need all of it. You need high tide and you need low tide. And so this has changed our lives. I don't think, by the way, it's not, and the way I think about it is not there's planets out there controlling what's happening. I think that's the mythological expression, a symbolic expression that is reflecting the energy. Who knows where it comes from? Then you get into chicken and the egg thing, and that's a drag because you just keep going around the same hamster wheel. You know what I mean? That's when it's like, all right, it's time to love. When you find yourself on the chicken and the egg conversation. So you can't pierce through that with normal thinking and thoughts. That's why we have to meditate, get the prana flowing in our body, and so forth and so on. So when these planets, Jupiter into Aquarius, and then in the spring of 2022, Saturn will make a little quick appearance in Aquarius and then back into Capricorn for the rest of 2022. And then as we get into 2023, Saturn will get into Aquarius. So Aquarius is bringing innovative energy. So it's a natural next stage after going through kind of purification so something new can be reborn. Capricorn, you get into Aquarius, and now you have innovative energy where you can now build something new. And that's what we all are doing in our own lives, in our own energy systems. So this is a fantastic night. And it's a fantastic night to work with our energy, so we set it. So then when you're going the next weeks, it's like you've got some momentum in the way that is innovative for you. That is well-centered life force, so that whatever anxieties we do have and worries we do have, they're not overwhelming us and not altering our decision-making. And whatever maybe depressions that we have and heaviness that we may have, that's also kept to a minimal relative to us, once again, so that our emotional energy is not overly influencing our way that we're navigating our life. Because how we navigate our life is what really helps us to be happy or not so happy. And all of us have the goal as human beings of being happy. We all share that purpose. Everyone has the purpose of being happy. And so that's why I love all this stuff. Yoga Jyotish, the Vedic astrology, Ayurveda. It's all the science of being happy. But again, being happy needs to make room and space for calamity. That's part of life. It's natural. But if we're always going subconsciously through our life trying to avoid calamity, and then when calamity comes, perceiving it viscerally as a negative, and what we could say completely as a negative. So this is relatively a negative. Nobody wants calamity. Nobody wants pain. Nobody wants to go through a hard time. But sometimes they're going to be hard. You can't have good times if you also don't have hard times. They have to both exist for either of them to exist. So this is the realm of duality. And that's why philosophical folks get really excited, many of us, about like non-dual type of operating. Where your exploration becomes, how do you draw your energy from that which is beyond relativity, beyond positive and negative, good and bad, up and down, male and female, etc. That's the science of a yogi, and that's the Tantra sciences. Is how do you work with your life force in such a way that you have a genuine embodied connection to, you're improving, you already have one, but you're improving your connectivity with your genuine heart and your mind and your emotions and and your body and all of it together. And that's when we feel intuitive, is when there isn't an excessive amount of mental or emotional energy that is swirling so much, or there's not an excessive amount of muddy, stuck energy keeping us kind of cloudy. Those are the two polarities, vata and kapha, air and ether, earth and water. So in the middle, though, you have fire. And the fire, in a certain way, is the most important of all of the elements. Because that's what we are. We're metabolic. That's what our bodies are. They're metabolic vehicles. In order for the body to stay healthy, it has to digest really efficiently and well, all the way down to the cellular level. That's why so much of these yogic exercises are working not just in your flexibility or not just in your strengthening, but actually working with using breath to move life force and to distribute life force into all the tissue layers of the human body. So you don't have to understand it all. It's just that it's a science and it's an art and it has depth. And it's not something that we have to blindly believe, but we can test and we can try to experience it and we can see if it works for ourselves. And if it doesn't work, why do it? And what would even determine what works? Is it making me healthier? Is it making me less reliant on others for my happiness? Is it making me more empowered as an individual and where I'm confident in myself? Is it helping my emotional maturity? Is it helping me love deeper? Is it helping me be more genuinely compassionate, both to others and to myself? Is it making me sweeter in my relationships? Is it helping to purify my sense of ego, a superiority complex? Or is it helping to lift up any inferiority complex that may be there? We all have all of these types of things. We all do. None of us exempt. We're in the human mind, in the human body. Unless we're perfect Buddhas ourselves, which I'm definitely not. I don't even know what that is. And so all I know is my experience of me right now, and my experience of using the tools that help me to discover me. And not just me in terms of the individual unit, but the me that's interwoven with everyone and everything. And this exploration of the consciousness and the intelligence and the love that really does animate all of life. You know it does. You don't have to prove love to yourself. When a mother is nursing her child at the breast, that's love. What turns the blood into milk if it's not? You know? And what is it that makes us just live with so much emotion? It's love. Hard, painful emotion, pleasurable, joyful emotion. It's love. What is this love? That's the exploration. Not in an intellectual way, but how does it help me blossom into someone who is really enjoying life and really getting great meaning out of their life? Not in some business style way, though. That can be too. Business, great, but you can be living your best life and living your mission, and if it's mostly kind of project and task oriented in some way, that's not the real mission. That's part of it. I'm not belittling that. Sure, if you have that, that's great. I've got that. It's great. But it's not it's not a sustaining force. It's a temporary force. What is the sustaining force if the business crashed into nothing? Totally can happen. Or if something happens in our life where everything changes and that's no longer relevant, what's the force that keeps me happy then? So that's deep trust in life. My experience, that deep trust in life and developing deep trust in life. It's not blind, but it is sometimes taking a chance to trust life, to be willing to see the medicine in our difficulties. That takes courage. It's hard to do that sometimes. But if we keep our life force healthy, we keep good vitality in the body and the mind, and then we have the aspiration to keep loving deeper so that ourselves can be happier and happier and more satisfied and content, deeply content, santok. It's a field of contentment. Well, all of that is worthwhile, and it makes all of the difficult stuff totally worth it. Because now all of a sudden what starts to happen is the very pleasurable times and the difficult times all start blending together. Because in the pleasurable times, we see the negative of that. And in the difficult times, we also see the positive in that. They're both there in both sides of the equation. Positive times are great, but it's easy to get overly comfortable. Difficult times suck and are challenging, but it helps us to grow. And it helps us to live even more fulfilling lives. So anyhow, that's what this, I think, is all about. And at some level, big picture, innovation. And so it works both all within the matrix of our individual experience, and then but we're all going through it together. That's what's reflected in the heavens. And so this final eclipse tonight, and this weekend, some people be doing it this weekend, it matters not. We do it when we can do it, you know? And then into the winter solstice in just a couple of weeks, and which will be 1 year from last year's grand conjunction, and then moving into this next kind of Aquarian phase of our life, of this collective transformation we're all going through together. So it's exciting. I do definitely think there's a new phase to what this is. And I think that there is, even though there's a lot of things that are depressing, there is also some things that are exciting to see what's going to emerge here. It's the more interesting part of life, especially when everyone's freaking the fuck out. And it helps us relax, hopefully, a little more. And because freaking out is not helpful, you know. And so let's tune in, let's work with our energy, and let's see if we can have a great night, and also let it overflow into a great weekend, and feel good that, hey, we're all going through this together, and it's making us shine from it. Cool? Take the hands. And anyone new to Kundalini Yoga or these types of practices, just enjoy. It's not necessary tonight to learn all the ins and outs for all of us tonight. We're just here to work with our body, work with our mind, have a good experience, make ourselves feel our good energy. Inhale deep. Exhale. Beautiful. All right, let's move our bodies. Come on to the hands and knees. Thanks for being here, everyone. Thanks for showing up tonight. Okay, now we're going to go on a journey together. So to get started, you put your attention on your breathing. Inhaling, the head is up. Exhaling, the head is down. Find your own rhythm, though. Spread your fingers wide and engage through the arms a little, like you feel like your arm is pushing into the earth ever so gently. And you might just start to feel so good that you might take your socks off. Usually unless people are around me, I forget to tell people to take their socks off. But somebody in here had their socks on tonight, so I remembered. If you warm up enough, I know there's cozy socks in the winter, but we were going to generate the warmth from internally. Use the breath, put the emphasis on the breath, deep breathing through the nose. Come on, 30 seconds. खून के सोएलेगा भी है नानक रत का कुंगू पाए वे डालो साहिब के गुण नानक गावे मास पूरी Inhale, head is up. Exhale, head is down. Fantastic. Okay, come sitting up on the heels. Hands on your lap. Okay, make sure you're right on your sit bones. Chest lifted up. Chin is slightly in.
And what we're going to do, you're going to lift through your chest, lift through your sternum, like this.
जैसी में आवे खस्म की बाणी तैसड़ा करी ज्ञान वेला लो जैसी में आवे
It's an inhaling, lifting for spinal flexors.
तैसड़ा करी ज्ञान वेला लो पाप की जन ले
Take your time getting started. It's letting the spine start to become supple. Use less of your body, more of your breath. If you can, get to that rhythm.
शर्म धर्म तो चाप खलो कूड़ फिरे प्रधान वेला लो काजियां बामणा की गल थकी अगद पड़े शैतान वेला लो मुसलमानिया कष्ट में करे
Spend the breath. Neutralize, lift the root line, and exhale. That's really good. Okay, come standing. Okay, what you're gonna do is hands and index finger to the thumb, Gyan Mudra, like a wisdom seal. And then it's like a march, like a sa, na, sa. It's not about fast, it's about deep. Na, sa, na, sa, na, sa. So there's a pelvic floor lift in the exercise. And the breath goes really deep. So for the first minute, the breath's so-so. But after a minute, keep going, keep making the breath deep, and it'll open.
पाप की जन ले काबलों ताया पाप की जन ले काबलों ताया चोरी मंगे दान
These are up to hip level.
पाप की जन
And use the arms.
काबलों ताया पाप की जन
Stretch through the armpits.
काबलों ताया
Within the rhythm, make the groove. And you'll be able to move all the lymphatic nodes, lymphatic fluids in the armpits, upper body, chest. 80% of your immune system in your lymph. So, let us live. Use the breath deeper.
कष्ट में करे खुदाए वेला लो जात सनाती और हिंदवाणिया ए पी लेखे लाए वेला लो खून के सोहले गावी है नानक खून के सोहले गावी है नानक रत का कुंगू पाए वेला लो साहिब के गुण नानक गावे मासपुरी विच आँख मसोला जिन उपाई रंग रवाई बैठा वेखे
Okay, inhale, stretch up.
सच्चा सो साहिब
Exhale, relax. Come back sitting, please. Hands come to here. Pelvic floor lifted. Chest lifted. Shoulder blades released. The chin is slightly in. Sternum lifted, heart open. Pelvic floor lifted, yeah? And then you inhale left. You're exhaling right. Ease into it until you find your pocket, your groove. Work with the breath and synchronize the breath with the body rhythm. Substantive rhythmic breath. Any pace that feels right for your body. But in either case, make the breath deep, please.
सच की बाणी 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 नानक आखे सच की बाणी नानक आखे सच सुनाए सी
Lift through the Mulban. Heart is softened, neutralization, spaciousness of the mind. And then exhale. It's called neutralizing duality, but you're not doing it mentally, intellectually in this case. You're doing it with physical and respiratory technique. Suspension of the breath, softening of the heart. Eyes, gaze goes, third eye. Root of the nose meets your skull bone. It's gently, it's not trying to make anything in particular happen. We're not trying to see anything there. It's just drawing your optic nerve into that general area. It helps benefit your intuitive psyche. And it takes, of course, practice, but definitely, once again, try it and see. That's the only way to verify if it is actually helpful in that way. And so then, if we can think of it more of just like we're allowing our mind and body to be in its natural intelligence. That's why we're drawing the gaze into the third eye, suspending the breath, suspending the mind, or endeavoring to suspend the mind. Often we start doing this stuff, and for the first 20, 30, 45 minutes of a practice, feels like your mind has no possibility of suspension. In fact, these yoga exercises seem to be provoking its agitation. Sometimes that also can happen, and where you'll feel like you have to work through something, and perfectly fine. But also sometimes that's not the case. Sometimes it's just pleasurable and feels like a joy, all of the above. And so anyhow, when that happens, once again, we're not taking it as a negative. We're taking it as allowing our energy to flow and using these techniques to help facilitate the natural flow of our energy. Hands on your knees. And then it's a... Now, tonight's kriyas, exercises and meditations, I think are going to be really effective in helping us kind of adjust our energy into this moment, this time and space, to where if maybe, for instance, like for me, early part of this week, I felt like I was a bit stuck in the mud, no matter how hard I tried. So then, after a while, we learned just to hang out in the mud and not make a big deal about it, because we know the mud's going to wash away in a couple days, and we'll be able to move with greater ease. So once again, helping to let our natural energy flow. Inhale, squeeze up the shoulders and squeeze out the tension. Not in an overly aggressive way, but get the tension out a little bit and relax. Fantastic. Stretch your legs wide, please. And flex the feet, and the toes are being engaged. And you inhale to your center and turn to either side. Exhale down. Inhale up into the center, turn to the other side, exhale down.
Every inhale, fill your lungs maximum. Inhale, center. Good. Keep the feet flexed. Hinge forward just a bit. Extend out through the chest. Tuck the chin. And now make your breath become long, slow, and deep. And just for the next 30, 45 seconds or so, follow the path of your breath. See if you can concentrate your mind. Relax your mind onto the flow of the breath. Fantastic. Shake your legs out and come back sitting easy pose. Hands will be Gyan Mudra, index finger to thumb. You're going to be using this breath of fire like this. So how you do it, if you're new to it, then you work towards creating equal exhale and inhale. But to start, you might focus on your exhale. Try it like this. Stick out your tongue. Then great for the immune system, this breath. Thymus gland stimulation. First little sign of a cold or even pre-symptoms. Do a little of this a couple times a day. See for yourself. Now keep the breath going, but close the mouth. Through the nose. There you go. With the rhythm, go. And lift your energy. Open the heart. Third eye is the gaze. And lift yourself. Inhale. Suspend your breath. Exhale. Good. The fun is just beginning. Bring your arms out, palms facing up. Fingers are firm, like this. Fingers are firm. Chest lifted, shoulder blades release. Okay, inhale. You try it again. Now, if you open the heart, lift through your chest, it'll make space for your navel. This is your Mars, your get up and go, giving life to your inner passion, your inner fire. When you get the desirable expression of the fire element, it gives you the clarity through radiance, courage through radiance, the subtle expression of fire element. All of our aggravated fire
or stuck fire, we can put into a nice rhythmic groove. And just feed it into our loving hearts. Our wish is just to feel good and to feel happy, and for others to feel happy. Keep the fingers firm. I know it's helped to kind of reset the nervous system, give life and balance the endocrines, the chemistry for our moods, the guardians of our health, our intuition, and our devotional feel. Suspension of the breath. Energize your fingers, totally firm, like steel. And then engage your spine, tightening it some, the muscles around the spine. And then exhale. Okay, one more part to this. Palms come to the chest, center of the chest, prayer pose. This is no just ritual. This is a pressurization of your palms. It's not overly pressurized, but it's nice and firm. The knuckles of your thumbs into the sternum, elbows up, shoulder blades released. It's called neutralization of your prana. Inhale. Neutralization doesn't sound all that fun. But that's when the bliss starts to flow. It's a whole lot of fun, actually. It's a lasting fun too. Deeply. Suspend the breath, and through the nose, exhale. Hold the posture. And another time, inhale deeply, and press the palms now with all this strength. Maybe even so, you might need to lift your pelvic floor some and draw your navel in. Martial artists know the power of the navel area and the energy underneath it.
We can use it to access our vitality. That's what it is. It's vitality. Exhale. Such a vitality. Inhale deep. Lift through the mulaband, rectum, sex organ, navel. Press the palms. Press the palms powerfully. Exhale. Beautiful job. Relax. Just meditate for a moment. Let the breath flow totally naturally. Keep your heart held high. Let your mind relax into its natural spaciousness. Beautiful. Inhale. Have a little bit of water. Don't get too spacey yet. Pace yourselves. But really though, stay grounded, have some water. So this next, I love that. I want to hear that again. So this next kriya, this next set of exercises, we're going to be doing more of breath of fire work today. This type of just really, it's not an aggressive breath. I think it's very important to do it with a meditative feel, not something like the face. At first you have to learn it, so at first it's not possible. But once you've learned it, then keep the face muscles relaxed the best that we can. We're not trying, and it's not a jerking of the navel eventually. It's quite subtle and it has a gentleness to it because we don't need the aggressiveness to access the power. At first, sometimes a little bit we do, or some days we're in a rut, sure, whatever. But our natural mode of operation, I think, the desirable mode of operation for yogic practices like these is to make it soft and blend that inner power with a feeling of softness of the heart, spaciousness of the mind, trusting the energy of life, not needing to make anything happen too quickly, actually being quite content with where we are, but working to enjoy the experience of where we are and the experience of how we blossom from where we are. That's what the life force experience is all about. So this is not a long set, and anybody needs to modify, relax. If you can't do or don't want to do the breath of fire, do long, deep breaths through the nose. Perfect. And then after these 3 exercises only, we're going to take a relaxation. And that's very important to do that. And the gong will just wash over us as we do. And then we're going to come out of that, and it's into a guided meditation that I think you'll love. It's a bit difficult, but anyone can do it, and anyone can try it, and everyone, I think, will benefit from it. It's very powerful, but also just we'll just let it speak for itself. So, in these 3 exercises, your gaze is going to be on the tip of your nose, okay? Now you bring your eyes, you kind of relax it down. Just another way, working with this frontal cortex, pituitary gland, Ajna chakra. You just relax the eyes somewhat down, And you try to relax the gaze onto the tip of the nose. Okay? Now your first position, your first posture, your thumb is into the base of your pinky finger. Okay? The other 4 fingers are together, and then you press your shoulder blades back to where they can almost touch. That'll press, of course, your heart forward. And you're gonna inhale deep here, and you begin energetic. And you put emphasis in this exercise, in fact, on putting movement into the navel. Maximum time 3 minutes for this, so see if you can concentrate. Concentrate the tip of the nose, move the navel. The yogis say that the thousands of diseases won't come near the one who moves their navel, because the navel totally controls the vayus, the nadis, the pranic winds that move through the body, the chi. You can activate, really dig into it this time a little bit. Move any stagnation of the energy. Inhale deep, hold the posture and suspend the breath. And now tighten all the muscles of your body to circulate the energy you've generated. Now through an O-shaped mouth like a cannon, exhale. Through the mouth now, inhale. Now lift the pelvic floor, squeeze all the fabric of the body. Tighten it deep, deep. Exhale. Now one more time. Now inhale. Suspend the breath in. Lift the root lock and deeply squeeze. But this time now, whistle your exhale. Fantastic. And y'all nailed the whistle. Good job. Okay, you ready for the next one? It's a little hard work to do. Tell me about it. But it's tonight is a little bit of meet hard with hard already, and that sometimes is good medicine. Okay? So, because then it's like, we let it's kind of like meet a certain energy with its energy, so that ease can come back in, relieve the tension there. Okay? So this one, your hands are like this.
And your thumbs are spread apart, the 4 fingers firm. You got it? And then you're twisting like a heavy jerk back and forth with the thumb side of the hand. And then tip of the nose goes the gaze, and now if that weren't already enough of a pain in the ass, now you need to make your breath really deep and really long through the nose in a way that's going to require extra effort, okay? So, like this. Just give it a try. A heavy jerk back and forth, the 4 fingers together, the thumbs stretched away. Four fingers together, folks. Detail, attention to detail, thumbs stretched away. Beautiful. Almost there. Inhale deep. Now tighten the spine and do the movement with the breath held in as quickly as you can. And exhale. Inhale. Mulaban. And then go with the movement as quickly as you can. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Amazing work. One more exercise, okay? And this one is my favorite of the 3. Your hands will be like this, fingers together, okay? Working with prana in the body requires attention to detail to really work with it well. Because like if the fingers are loose, for instance, then there's a dilution of the energy. And so therefore, it's not like the whole thing's rigid, but it's finding the sweet spot between being soft but not being slouched, and not being energy dilute in a certain way. So it's concentrating energy. It's working with the energy. So therefore, you kind of have to harness it a little bit, and you can do that with simple things. Lift through the pelvic floor, engage the fingers. Okay, and the O-shaped mouth this time. Eyes on the tip of the nose. It will look like this. All the movement is towards the body. The power of the movement is towards the body, but like this. It's like a chisel, or of the heart, what they call the Agan Granthi, the knot, the lock of the heart center. Lift through the pelvic floor. Relax the mind though, you see? Can you do it with the relax? Can you bring the energy up and then relax into it? Not in a rush.
but rhythmically deep. Bringing forth your inner power, your inner vitality. Final moments, friends. Tip of your nose. Inhale. Keep the breath in and do the movement as quickly as you can. I feel like it even's like shaking energy into all of the cells. Shaking the energy. Exhale. This one, last part. Inhale deep. 2 more. Keep the pelvic floor lifted and then really go. Exhale. Last time. Mulban in. Full speed. Exhale. Fantastic. Wow. Good job, everybody. Now you get to relax. Just relax. This is not easy. These are often it's the case when we have these big events and we're opening them up to lots and lots of new people. I know a lot of us are meeting the first time. A lot of us we've been hanging out a long time. But this is a little harder. You know, it's not necessary that you do them all perfect, or it's just you do what you can and continue to be kind to yourself. And now part of that is laying on your back and allowing all of that work that you've done so far to really nurture you. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Move your fingers, move your toes. Rotate the wrists and ankles. Rub your palms, make some heat. Rub the soles of your feet, make some heat. And cat stretch to each side. Hug the knees to the chest. And come up into a meditative position. Come up into a sitting position. Have a little bit of water. Make sure you're sitting on your sit bones, chest lifted. It'll be like this. And the right arm out extended, you know? It'll guide you through it. Throughout the whole thing, as best as you can, keep the body still. Okay? And you'll see that your breath will be your ally. Okay? So, you don't have to start yet. But those of you who want extra credit, go for it. Take the 4 fingers of your left hand. And they go right up straight up the forehead there. Just like that. You can feel the 4 fingertips. You can just feel the forehead, but feel also how the contact of your fingers to the frontal part of the head, the skull. You can make a connection. You can heal yourself. You can give yourself good energy. You can nurture your glandular system, your pituitary, the master gland. Take your right arm straight out. Fingers are firm. 4 fingers together, thumb is up. Try not to pull your right shoulder forward. Try to keep the shoulders balanced. Heart lifted up. Shoulder blades release. Lift through the pelvic floor. Give yourself good foundation. Close your eyes. Through the nose, begin to breathe long, slow, deeply. Conscious breath. Fingers of your right hand engaged. To stimulate your chakras and feel wonderful. Your extended arm will feel heavy or painful as the mind protests the idea of holding steady. But try not to move the arm at all and focus on the breath. Make the breath steady.
The breath should be deeper 2 minutes from now than it is right now. Participate in that. This long, deep breath will stimulate the brow point, the pituitary, and relieve the sensations of pain. You will transcend the pain as the glands secrete and the rasa is balanced. You'll develop a sensitivity to stay steady even as your thoughts begin to jump. The left hand is at the heavens and the right arm is extended to the earth. Your consciousness processes both through your awareness. The steadiness that comes with this meditative state is the healing state. We are all experiencing the great pressure of this highly connected information age. This meditation creates a steadiness and a stillness that releases those reactive tensions and serves as a lever to shift the energy towards wholeness and healing. In this meditation, you can begin to beam the mind. By creating a profound stillness, you focus and connect to anything you think about, beaming the mind. As you open up to the flow of thoughts and the sensation in yourself and in others, it allows you to stabilize a space where you dwell in your consciousness. From this space, you can project the thought, connect to another person at a distance, or as a healer, induce a resonance within a person who would benefit from the healing energy. Beaming the mind is a basic skill that helps us reach our goals despite the pressures and distractions of life.
With every exhale, lift your pelvic floor. to power the exhale and to lift the prana. Lift the mulband as you exhale. Fingers firm. Use the breath. Final moments, my friends. Lift up through the mulban. Right hand fingers firm. And relax. And then roll your shoulders out. Stretch your legs out. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Inhale, stretch your arms up. Like this, and then shake them. Please shake them. Shake them out. But keep going for a few moments. Really shake it out. Shake it out. Move the energy around. Any leftover kind of heavy residues of the last couple weeks, let it be in the last couple weeks. Last year, who knows what it is. Make yourself feel lighter is the idea, and shake it around. Okay, good. Now, bring yourself back into your centered space. Just close your eyes for last few moments of any meditating. So it's just allowing everything now to be well centered in your body, well concentrated in your nervous system. In that feel of a open, soft, and warm, expansive heart. A mind of peace and knowing, intuitive. And just dwell in that space for a few moments. It helps train our minds and bodies to live more from that space. Gracious heart, intuitive mind. Good. Just have a little more water. Stretch your legs out. The idea that we work with, first of all, decided last night that moving forward in Life Force Academy, it's just going to be Eclipse season, because my experience is just so useful to work throughout the whole season as opposed to just a single night. Because the reality is that often the things, my experience and many others, is that eclipse energies, often when we feel the most intense strength of them is often not right on the day of the eclipse. In fact, in most cases for me it isn't. So, but it's always nice to use the energy, because at this moment where it's kind of reached its more crescendo in a release. So it's a nice, practices keep us going throughout the whole kind of wave of energy. But then if you work with it throughout that wave of energy, then you can get to the release and you can feel like, I could really use that. That's why we always recommend at the beginning of it, you have some type of intention. Now that's what's nice about when you're working with certain yogic arts and sciences and dharmic arts, is that the intention is built in, and the most important intention is that works is the wish for happiness, the wish for freedom of suffering, the wish for expanded, that I can find happiness also in your happiness. And by having the intent of an extended, gracious heart, I think is always a great place to start with. And then we have the specifics of what we might be working through in our life, what we're looking to bring forth or to purify away, habits that we want to purify away, perhaps, whatever. We all know how to do intentions. But when our personal intentions are within the bigger context of a lifelong cultivation of altruism, a lifelong cultivation of wisdom to give flavor to that altruistic heart. Well, that now we have a context or a foundation we can rely on. But that takes a lot of work. It takes paying attention to it. And that's how we start to deliver to ourselves more and more happiness. And so what we're doing is on December the 17th, which is a Friday evening, 2 weeks from tonight. Is that true? 2 weeks from tonight. For the second year, we're doing our winter solstice experience. And I want to encourage you to try it. If you're not already, haven't already signed up, because this, I think, tonight is beautiful, but to spend multiple days in a row doing this work, and it's not like, oh, that was hard. I thought it was a kind of a hard class. Personally, it's just one style of class, and that's just what seemed to happen tonight. But it's not like, oh, that one evening was difficult, the whole thing, that's just too much. It doesn't quite work like that. In fact, what ends up happening is after you kind of get into it a little bit, it starts to get quite easy, and it starts to be enjoyable, and it starts to be something that it's helping me really feel good. And it really has exponential effect when you're Friday night, Saturday, early Saturday afternoon, and then Sunday, and then Monday, and then Tuesday morning is the moment of the winter solstice. So, if you have the wherewithal to actually, if you want to, of course, number one, and then if you have the wherewithal to actually carve that amount of time for yourself and do this with us from anywhere in the world, and you see it's it's going to deliver in terms of what we bring into the production of these events. This is not like hanging out on Zoom for the weekend. We always encourage, get your good setup that if you can, because it'll bring it to life even more. But you can also just do it on an iPhone with good headphones or something too, because it's also a musical experience. It really is. I mean, that's a huge part of it. All of that music, or a lot of that music we heard tonight, including that meditation at the end, those were born during these immersion experiences and from the Simrit band. And they're all going to be there. And so there'll be magic moments for sure. It's just an incredible way to spend a few days. It really is. And especially at that point in time when the solstice hits. So we do the summer solstice, we do the winter solstice. These are great checkpoints to where you can really give everything attunement, alignment on all the levels of us, not just physically, of course. And it's of course it requires effort and work, but what comes out of it, my experience is like, oh my God, I'm so glad we did that, and I can't wait till the next one. That's the feeling almost across the board. I can't wait till the next one. Okay, so I just wanted to give you the vibe if you've never done one with us. And this year is Return to Light. That's of course what the winter solstice is. We get to the shortest, darkest night of the year, and now the days will start to become longer. So that's why this time of year we have the holidays of light. Right now we're celebrating Hanukkah, then there'll be Christmas. There's all around the world festivals of light, winter solstice. And that's where these roots are. And so it's a very auspicious time to actually be doing good meditation practice, actually. And, it'll make everything else, I think, my experience, it makes all the other holiday stuff much more enjoyable too. Because for me, at least, for somebody like me, I want to do something substantive. I don't want to be in shopping culture. I don't want to be like, I got a certain amount of energy at reserve that will tolerate shopping culture. I appreciate it like anyone else, don't get me wrong. But at a certain point, it's like, enough. You know what I mean? Have you gone outside today? Did you take a walk in the woods? Did you see the glory of what's before us here in this universe we live in? You can get so hypnotized by the noise that you just forget about the goodness that there is, because we got swallowed up by some things, just the distractions. It's not saying that stuff isn't important. It's not saying anything at all. It's just saying there is a tremendous love to this existence that we all are sharing, and tremendous intelligence as well. You ever had a persimmon? People around here eat persimmons, but when I grew up, we never had persimmons in South Carolina. And I was eating one the other day. It's like, amazing. Who created the persimmon? I was like, could Elon Musk create a persimmon? No way. You know what I mean? No, nothing against him. But we forget. We forget how mysterious this all is, really. But we can explore it. So how are you really going to explore it? You got to create time and space for that to come alive within us. So what doing these immersions a certain way, it's kind of like it's an act of self-care. Say, I'm going to spend this amount of time. I'm going to commit myself to this amount of time during these days, and I'm going to take care of me. And so if you want to do that and you're able to do that, I encourage you to. You're most welcome. And, of course, it's a busy time of year. Not everybody can do the whole thing and can be there for all of them. So every session is immediately available on demand recording, and you have indefinite access to it all. So it can be done over a period of time as well. It doesn't have to be done in the same way. But if you can be there with us live, that's great. And that's ideal, always. But it works, and people use these in all sorts of different ways. And then there is a small handful of spots for people who want to join us in person in the Nevada City area. A very small handful of those spots left, but it's on. You can grab one of those tonight if you want to. There's you'll see everything's on the webpage here. And then there's a section that shows you the price and the buttons and the sale price. And then there's a text link under that that says, if you want to come in person, click there. That'll take you to that. And all the details are there for that. But mostly what we're encouraging everyone to do is to join from wherever in the world you are and do it from your place and have a great experience. Do something that's going to really make this ending of our year very special. It's already special, but it's like getting into the specialness of it, getting into the specialness of our life, and we really deserve to be happy. And we got it. We have some. We're just not here by chance. We need to explore, what is this life of mine, and what am I here to learn, and how am I growing, and how am I finding meaning that sticks around? So anyhow, it's done in 8 sessions, and it goes through the 8 planetary archetypes, what we call the Navgraha, which is 9. But in this case, we're doing session 1 is Light of Saturn. Session 2, you can look at all these, and I encourage you to. Session 2 is Light of Jupiter, showering benevolence on your life. Session 3, so now you're into Saturday afternoon, and all the evening and afternoon sessions, that'll be live music. Session 3, Light of Mars, giving life to your inner fire. Session 4, that now we're at Sunday morning, Light of Venus, arousing the depths of creative love. It's so great to use these planetary energies. It's not a course on astrology. Sure, we'll use a little astrology to bring the energy of Venus into the room and into our bodies and hearts, but it's not about learning astrology or becoming an astrologer. We might learn a little, but that's not the main intent. The main intent is to give ourselves the tune-up by using all of these facets of the psyche, which the yogic system provides such a fantastic blueprint for. Okay, the next one, Light of Mercury. What is that? Putting light into dynamic communication. I'm excited for these. Light of the Moon, learning to dwell in an infinite home. Session 7, Light of the Sun, discovering your hidden brilliance. What is the sun? Your sun is how proud you are. The sun is what you're all about, People with strong suns, they feel just naturally, they are what they're all about, and they'll tell you about it. When the sun has a little less energy, then maybe there's more insecurity. That's our karmas, and there's nothing wrong with that, but that's the energy system that we're working with. And so then you grow from where you are. And wherever you are, it's the perfect starting point. Always true. Light of the sun, discovering your hidden brilliance. Light of the ascendant, enjoying the gift of new life. That will be the winter solstice moment on early Tuesday morning. All the details are there. Want you to come if you can. If you register now, it's much cheaper. The normal price is $498, but if you register now, it's only $295. You can look at it all there. There's a payment plan. Is that true? Yeah, that's true. There's a payment plan if that makes it easier for you, just 2 payments of $162. So all that information is on the page for you. And it's easy to sign up. You don't have to be technologically savvy to do this. We have an amazing team that will walk you through anything you need help with. And so it's going to be a great time. That's how it works. If you want to come, sign up, and it'll, and then get your block those days off on your calendar if you're able to. See if a friend wants to do it with you, maybe. That would be fun. Then you'll really show up for them all, right? And anyhow, that's what's up. So, regardless if you can come to that or not, I'm so glad we did tonight. And I hope it helps to carry you through your weekend and through your week. and that we all have a really happy holiday season, and with a whole bunch of love around us, whether that's with family, whether that's with Mother Nature, however that comes to us. That my wish is we're all surrounded in love as we end this year. Bring the hands to prayer pose. Thanks so much, everybody. That was a lot of fun. Have a beautiful rest of your night. I'll jump on Zoom and say hi for a few minutes to everybody thanks so much to everybody who's been on the Zoom room all night. Really love that. There's been a lot of you in there, and double shout out to everyone with the courage to have their video on. We could do a study of horoscopes of people who turn their video on and horoscopes that people who keep their video off. But I'm gonna come say hi. So if you're not on there and you want to come say hi for a few minutes, feel free to jump on if you're here live. And love y'all. Have a great night, great weekend.
I'm so grateful to be at home and to have a magic space. And it's really helped me carve out my boundaries.
You know, meditating and doing yoga by yourself can sometimes be it's difficult to stay motivated.
I just wanted to say that the energy that has been radiating from the virtual Zoom has been electrifying.
The effects that I was having just at home by myself practicing were tremendous. I mean, the bliss and the real love of just living life and being around other people was palpable.
We all need the consciousness to change. We all need introspection and what you're offering is guiding so many people to do it. So
his love, his kindness, his wisdom, his insight, like all of it is just such an incredible blend.
Simra and Jai really cultivate, and all of the team cultivate such a beautiful experience.
But it turned out kind of fun. I could do the virtual from anywhere I wanted.
In a lot of ways, you see, regardless of whether you take this all literally or not, this is the training of how to develop the mind to become a happy person. Do you get that out of it? And that's the process we're going through right now. How do I continue to go through my process so that I now have the capacity to orient myself towards helping others?
Kundalini is amazing. It really helps you to be more grounded, and it really helps de-stress and takes away your anxiety and your fears. It's such an amazing tool to really become freer as a person and to become more of yourself and get comfortable with yourself.
So that's what a householder yoga life is about, is you're using the rajas of your life, the activity of your life, the stress of your life, the turbulence of your mind, and you're channeling it into more vitality, more consciousness, more love. That is the warrior way.
The combination of the intellectual capacity, the analytical capacity, the way Jaidev explains things to me made a lot of sense. I don't like to do things out of the blue just because somebody says so. And the teachings are very profound from my perspective, and it resonated with me.
Your projection and your mental attitude creates the context for the stress of your life. The whole idea is moving beyond worry and fear. But that's not stuffing the worries and the fears that you have. It's learning to develop the type of character, develop the type of nervous system, type of mental caliber that you know how to not indulge worries. Okay? It takes a lot of power to be able to do that. But fortunately, you have a lot of power. Question is, do you grab hold of it? That's what this immersion is about.